Welcome to this video demonstration of Blueprint's Migration Analysis and Planning, or MAP, product for UiPath. This product is for system integrators to efficiently analyze and accurately estimate and plan an RPA migration to Power Automate Desktop. It, of course, could be used by companies themselves who are doing their own migrations. The product lets you work with the entire RPA estate, but also to drill down into individual automations as needed. It seamlessly integrates with Blueprint Migrate for automated migration, and aside from migration, it could also be used for RPA governance, compliance, and transformation purposes. While this video shows you the support for UiPath specifically, it also supports A360 and Blue Prism, and there's other videos for those products. Blueprint Map has a lot of capabilities, but in this short video, we're going to focus on these. When doing an analysis using Blueprint Map, the first thing I do is start with the main overview dashboard. It gives me an instant overview of all the automations, key metrics like size, complexity, degree of redundancy across the estate, compliance violations, even detecting sensitive data in the code. And anywhere on here, I can click in to get more detail. Here, for example, is the exact set of automations that have violated this particular compliance rule. I usually then take a look at the list of all of the automations, again with key metrics shown so I can sort and filter, allowing me to focus on what's important. Next thing I usually do is go to the Tools Apps catalog. This is really a catalog of all the applications that my automations are interacting with. Blueprint creates this by scanning the UiPath code, so I know the list is complete and accurate. And for each application, I instantly see which automations are using it. This is very helpful in planning a migration in cases where I want the applications to drive my migration priorities. So these were some of the tools I use for general analysis of the estate, but then I go to this area for more detailed analysis specific to migrating. Here I have detailed metrics for each individual automation in the table below, and those metrics are rolled up for the entire estate at the top right and in the charts. And very often I do deeper analysis by exporting all of this information and more to Excel, where I can do pivot tables, slice and dice the data however I wish to answer pretty much any question I have as part of my analysis. One other area I go to is here, where I get a summary of all the custom actions being used, all the DLL references, copied components, unresolved references, work queues, and this again is across all of my automations. These analysis tools expose what always used to be hidden under the covers inside the automations, and it's all very important because all of these things can impact the migration work. And when speaking of the work required to migrate, Blueprint estimates an automated migration for you. Here we have the on-screen estimator. Blueprint tells you for individual groups or the entire estate of automations how many compiler errors there will be and how many to-do items there will be for the developer to complete in PAD. And then if you set the fix rates for the different kinds of to-dos and compiler errors, Blueprint will automatically translate those counts into hours of work. Those fix rates I showed, these defaults are average values that we've seen across many migrations. As you start to do migration projects using Blueprint, you'll typically tune these based on your own experience. That on-screen estimator helps you determine the time spent completing the code, and specifically finding and fixing all the compiler errors and the compiler to-do items. Separate from this on-screen estimator, you can also use an external spreadsheet estimator that Blueprint exports for you. This lets you do further, more refined estimates, and being in Excel, you can of course extend it however you like. Our plan is to implement this spreadsheet estimator inside the product, but for now, let me show you how it works. First, it extends the on-screen estimation of the conversion work. It categorizes the automations into small, medium, large, very large, accounts for selector respies, runtime errors, etc. It also accounts for pre-work, the time you spend beforehand, to get an understanding of the automation's functionality, how it's constructed, etc., what components it depends on. It also lets you estimate the post-work, the time that's spent doing typical organization checks before production, like reviews for security, compliance, acceptance testing. And finally, it has an allowance for overhead and contingency. In the on-screen estimator in Blueprint, you simply select Actions, Export Estimation Template. So here's the spreadsheet estimator. There's lots of sheets. Blueprint has pre-populated it with all the RPA data needed, and it all culminates in this one summary sheet. Whereas you can see the pre-work is estimated, the conversion work is estimated, the post-work, the contingencies I spoke of, even project planning and management overhead. There is a detailed video on this spreadsheet estimator, which I encourage you to watch. So again, I was able to show you just a small portion of the Blueprint Map product. I do encourage you to watch some of our other content or reach out to us directly at info@blueprintsys.com. Thank you for watching.